Why do you think some companies focus more on equity than profits or margins? Yeah, there's two different ways to look at it. One way is down here. This is a balance sheet here. So it's like a scale. On one side, where the car is in the house with a little light in it, that's assets. And assets have to equal liabilities plus equity. That's why it has to balance. And so you'll see there's a pig. On the other side, that's liabilities. And then there's a dude from the office. You can't tell that. He's too small now. You see him? That's equity. And so when you talk about companies referring to focusing on equity, what that might mean is return on equity, ROE. And every time you hear the term return on something, it means net income over something. So if I say return on assets, that means net income divided by assets. If I say return on remote controls, silly I know, it's net income over remote control. If I say return on equity, it means net income over equity. And last thing I'll say about this is that basically means, like, think of the denominator as always being the number one. So in this case, the denominator is equity, and the numerator is net income. So return on equity means net income divided by equity. If the denominator is 1, that means for every $1 in equity or ownership you have in a company, how many pennies of net income are you making? Higher is better. So, and when it comes to ROE, you can also look at what's called the DUPONT model, which disaggregates or breaks up return on equity into 3 different formulas that mathematically cancel each other out. It's brilliant. And so there's 3 different formulas or 3 equations that can actually become drivers to improve return on equity. Okay, so that's what I would look at, yeah. But I would say that when people look at return on equity, of course they're looking at profits. So I think anybody that looks at equity multiples, they're definitely looking at profits. Maybe not margins directly, but net income, which is profit, is part of that equation.